Impressions, your first impressions of Eric Cantona?
Well, obviously I'd seen Eric before I'd signed for United, but of course you then get to know personalities when you sign for a club. And Eric was obviously a brilliant player, scored big goals for Man United, big character, good personality, good lad for a night out, good lad in the trenches when you go into away grounds. People kind of refer to him as a bit of a maverick, but he loved the game. He loved the game. He was a good lad for training, and again he got United over the line. You know, when you think of the previous season where United blew it, I suppose, Eric came in, and that's been said before, that final piece of the jigsaw, and a good guy to go with it.
Like you said, he was a maverick. He hadn't really found a home in lots of different dressing rooms. Why do you think he found that at Old Trafford?
I think it was just the setting of the club, obviously the manager, the characters already at the club. I think the fact he could go in there and obviously to get him over the line, winning that league title. His personality, obviously people remember with his jersey and the collar. He's still, obviously the fans still love him at United. I think it was just that you know, we talk about football nowadays. Going back, the game is about characters and personalities, and Eric was up there with the best. But he also produced. He also produced on the match days. It's no good. A lot of clubs can have mavericks, but they don't turn up at the weekend. You know, they're kind of lads during the week. But Eric turned up on a Saturday and done the business. And particularly with my time at the club, you know, he scored so many big goals in big games, and ultimately that's what it's about. And I think that's why the fans love him as well. And as I said, a brilliant personality in the dressing room when you're travelling with him. Good guy, a classy guy. And as I said, really good on a night out as well. You know, really.
Tell us that story. Tell me how to
He liked it. I'm surprised we saw him there drinking a pint, because when we used to go, there was always champagne. He'd obviously made a few bob in his time at United, but really top.
Him and Roy used to wear the double denim, I think, on a Saturday
he
night.
took my jeans jacket. Yeah, brilliant.
People always talked about him being a great trainer. That was always the route. Was it?
I always thought, Sergio, I thought that was exaggerated. There was stuff Eric used to stay behind 2 hours after everyone, and kids from the academy used to come over and watch him. No, but he was a really good trainer, but he didn't do any extra than anybody else. But the key was he'd done it. He'd done it in the big games.
Yeah, and you always said he was one of the best that you ever played with. I mean, you talked about, we've seen some of the goals that he's scored, some of the trophies that he's won in his time at Manchester United. Where would you actually rank him in terms of
I don't know. I really don't know. But it was great as well for me, if you want to look at it from the footballing side of it. Obviously, I'd play midfield. And the great thing about Eric, I played with other strikers, Robbie. You want your strikers, when I was getting the ball in midfield, you want your strikers to show for it, and Eric was great, and that takes a lot of bravery and courage. And what I used to love about Eric, when he showed for it properly. Some strikers show for it, but they're like, I'm showing, but don't give it to me, I don't want it in tight areas. Whereas Eric had the presence, the confidence, the personality, particularly at Old Trafford, when you might be under pressure to say, yeah, give it to me, I'll deal with it. So it was great for me to be playing with him, when you have other lads running and people like Giggsy and Kanchelskis, but you need someone to see their eyes. But Eric was just, I can't speak highly enough of him.
Leeds' loss was clearly Manchester United's gain, as you saw in that piece, and as we've learnt through history as well. And what an extraordinary tale of the tape from him after a £1 million absolute bargain signing. 6 major trophies, including those 4 Premier League titles, the goals, top scorer for the club, the assists as well, and of course he left it all very quickly at the age of just 30 in May 1997, and Gary Neville was just